Yo, 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 yo. It is Marlo. This is Paradigm Shift. We're at episode 9. Yes, if you've been following the show, I have been gone for a significant amount of time, maybe a month. I'm not sure, but I've just been busy. Nothing bad has been going on. In fact, it's been amazing. I've just been living life. Went on a trip with my girlfriend, and it was amazing. And yeah, so I've just been living. And today we're going to talk about a request from somebody, and they have been maybe forever. I don't know. I don't know how long, but they deal with feeling bad about situations, especially if people ask them for help and they can't do anything, or at work, they are in a customer service role. And, there are times where people need to pay for upgrades, and maybe they don't have enough money, or maybe they can't pay, or maybe they don't want to pay, and they want their services upgraded, and the person who requested this feels bad and maybe thinks about it after the situation happened. And this is, I would say, a common thing, not just in jobs, but you feel bad if say you're gonna hang out with friends, but you don't. Maybe something came up, or maybe you're just not feeling it, or so many different situations, right? You have a girlfriend or boyfriend, and you don't meet or fulfill their needs, then they feel bad or sad or angry, and you wish that you could do something. And I think first off, I'm always going to say this, what I'm about to say, but it's all about being present, being in the moment. And it's fair. You're allowed to feel bad at times, or sad, or like you didn't help enough. That's allowed. But the problem comes in where you constantly go back to those feelings. So, the moment happened, you didn't fulfill someone's needs or what they wanted. And then you're sitting home at night, or, you're on the bus, or you're working, and you're thinking about what happened in the past. So I'm always going to come back to this. Being present allows you to, step out of those thoughts, those things that can hold you back, that can keep you feeling down, and allows you to focus on what is happening in front of you, right? Right now, I'm making this podcast or these videos, and if I was thinking about something, that happened in the past that was bad, or that I didn't help someone and I felt bad, I wouldn't be focused enough to make this for you. There are times when I make these videos and I maybe think about something quickly, but then I snap back in. And I think it's actually very rare for me, and that's because I have practiced, I have learned about being present. And, every video I make, I talk about this. So first off, if this is something you're dealing with, you need to go back and start and keep studying the present moment. What does that entail? It's being focused on things that are in front of you. It's being focused on using your senses, your sight, smell, hearing, and your touch. And it's about seeing the little details, right? When you are looking at the little details in the things in front of you, that's when you're able to be there fully, right? So when someone asks you to do something that you can't do, and you wish you could help them, but you can't, you might feel bad in that moment. But any prolonging of that feeling, it might pop up in your head for a second, and that's fine. But if you're sitting there and thinking and dreading and wishing that you could have changed what already happened when you can't, then that's not being present, that's being unconscious. So that's the first thing. That's the first step. You need to go back to unlearning, and the process isn't one and done. You don't just hear about it from me or from Eckhart Tolle or from whoever, and then you say, I can be in the moment now, I learned it. No, this is something that takes years. And I've said this before, I studied this for 10 years now, probably, right? And now I feel I can teach others. So to get back to the original thing, let's talk about job situation, right? So if you're in a job, customer service usually, or it doesn't have to be, you're reporting to your boss and they ask you to do something. Let's start with a customer, right? A customer asks you to do something and you can't help them with that. Like, you're literally unable to do it because they want a better service, but that service costs money and you feel bad about that. Well, it's okay to feel bad about that, of course, right? People might say they have no money, they really need it, they have some sort of physical ailment and you really want to help them, but you can't. It's not a part of your job. You're not gonna take money out of your own pocket or put the company under to help these people. And although you might want to, you can't help everyone. And that's not your fault. That's not your job. That's not why you're here. You have to do the best you can with what you're given. And any stressing over that, it's just not needed. People also might want to try to use your empathy against you. So they can sense that this person has a lot of empathy, is very caring, which you probably are, and they want to use it against you. They could see, oh, maybe I can wiggle myself in and get something because this person is so nice. So you have to be careful as well, because having a lot of empathy can be it's good to have empathy. Having empathy and caring about others when you might not know them, when you might not really ever see that person again is a really amazing and beautiful thing. But it can get you into a lot of trouble because you can absorb energies from other people, right? Very sensitive people absorb the energies around them. And that can be very good when the energies are positive, but when energies are negative or sad or angry, you can be so in tune that if you are doing well and having a good day, someone comes into your life and brings a negative energy and boom, you now feel the negative energy. And it can change your day. It can take you from being content and happy and positive to being negative just like that. So you have to be careful about that. And the number one thing is, you guessed it, being present. Because when you are present, you aren't letting all these other energies, all these other things affect you, because you are focused in the moment. Maybe you feel that for 1 second, but then you go back to being your neutral self. And just a little side note, there's a lot of talk out there about be positive always. You got to be positive. You got to be happy. You got to be smiling. You got to be, that's not possible. Because one thing that I have learned is that being happiness is an emotion. So happiness is just an emotion like anger, and it comes specifically from a situation. So you win the lottery, you're happy. The emotion comes out. You have a kiss with someone that you like, that's happiness. That emotion comes from that kiss, right? It comes from a situation. Your baseline, what you should be aiming to be every day, is to be a neutral level. You're not too up, you're not too down, you're just chill. You're just here experiencing these things, right? But most people are always trying to aim for this. I gotta be happy. I gotta be positive. I gotta be. That takes so much energy out of you because it's false. You're trying to create it when there's nothing, no situation really that is giving you that happiness. And even when you are into spirituality, even when you are practicing being in the moment, you are going to feel all the emotions. But most people feel these emotions at such high levels. It's almost a bipolar thing. So one day they're so happy, they're having a great time, Then boom, something comes in, they sense this energy, they're very sensitive, and then the negative emotion hits. And then it's so bad, they get depressed, right? So they're not aiming to be that middle line. They're always here, too high, then boom, too low. But when you're present, when you're in the moment, you start to live life at this kind of neutral thing where nothing gets you too up, too down, right? You're going to experience those feelings, right? You go on a trip, an amazing trip, you're going to have these amazing feelings, but you're going to come down from that and you're not going to have to go through a huge depression like most people will, because anything takes energy out of you, right? So being sensitive, I think, is one of the things that people, they not attract, but they feel too much from other people. And when you're present, you just are in you. You are feeling it through you. Yes, you sense these other people's emotions, but it's not your job. Even if you're in a customer service role, that's not your job to make everybody happy. You just do your job to the best of your ability. You help people when they need help to the best of your ability. You can go above and beyond, right? But if you are constantly feeling bad about not being able to help people, imagine if you have 1,000 customers a day and 100 of them are angry at you. If you are absorbing that many people's energies, that's going to devastate you and it's going to take energy out of you, right? So, I mean, you got to look at yourself as like, your phone, right? You got your phone and there's the battery symbol on the phone and it shows you have 50% battery, right? So us as humans, we're basically like that too. We have a certain amount of energy per day. And when that depletes, that's when you start to feel low energy, depression. That's what depression is. And I want to get into that as well. That's another video. But depression is always looked at as this bad thing, this horrible thing, this thing that's you shouldn't talk about. You shouldn't be going through depression. That's bad. People should always be at full energy. It's not possible. Our energy bar is going to deplete. So for me, I just went on an amazing trip and had a great time, put a lot of energy, walked 20,000 steps a day, met amazing people, had a great time. It was so fun, but that fun takes energy out of you. Then when I got back from the trip, I felt what people would call depressed. But I don't look at it as a bad thing. I look at that low energy as my body just telling me, dude, go to sleep. Dude, stop going out so much. You need to take a break, right? So I rested for about a week and now I feel back to my normal baseline self. And that's another thing, right? When you absorb people's energies, when you're putting so much energy and thought into others, it's going to take away from your energy storage. So at a certain point, you're going to deal with all these people incoming and taking little pieces of energy from you. You're not going to have energy for your own life. So, I mean, that's another thing you got to look at is your job. If this is about your job and it's taking so much energy out of you, If it's too much and you can't handle it, well, then you have to make a decision. And Eckhart Tolle says this is you can look at every situation, everything that happens to you, and you can do a couple things. You can accept what is happening, any situation, a bad, good. You can accept what's happening. You can change what's happening. And you can use it, or you could use it. I mean, you can use it to go deeper into the moment, right? So you can accept it or you can change it. But anything else is insanity, right? That might sound harsh. That might sound, whoa, he's taking it too far. But if you look at it, right? If something happens to you, you can accept it, you can change it, and you can deal with what is happening, right? So if a customer comes up to you and is yelling at you, you have to be present there. It's very hard. And that's why you have to work on this when you're not in intense, dangerous situations. Because when you work on it, when you're just by yourself, when you're alone and everything's okay, that's going to allow you to deal with these hard situations when they come up, right? So you have to be very present. You don't want to add more to, so if someone's coming in angry, yelling at you, if you start yelling back, if you start getting angry back, it just escalates. And of course, the customer is always feeling like they're right, because I think that's such a bullshit thing of like the customer's always right. No, the customer's not always right. Most of the times they're not right. So I think that that's bullshit. I don't like customer service myself. I think it's a very taxing, and you're just put in a bad situation from the get-go, and you don't really have too many options, right? You either help the customer, or if they get too crazy, then you call a manager or security. But you don't really have options to be like, no, dude, like, no, you're wrong. You can't really say that, even though the reality of it is, a lot of the times the customers are wrong. They're trying to get something, or they're angry, or they got their own issues and they're taking it out on you. And so I don't like customer service, but if you're in it and you like it and you want to be in it, then, these are the things you're going to have to deal with. But so if someone's coming at you with a bad energy, you have to try to stay at the neutral, chill energy. And one thing that I realized is that I work at a law firm, and the lawyers are usually very stressed out. They're working on $1 million cases. They're battling in court. They're working 12 to 15 hours a day, every day, maybe weekends. So they're already at a level of like burnt out always, right? Sometimes I have great admiration for people that do this, but it's dangerous, right? So when I started working there, I had people coming at me so stressed, so angry, so tired, so whatever, right? Very kind of negative emotions. And at first, I would go to that level that they were at. So if they were angry, I would get angry inside. If they were stressed, I would get stressed. If they were annoyed, I would get annoyed. And then through what I've learned through spirituality, being in the moment, I realized that if I stayed at a chill, even level and didn't rise or go to what they were experiencing, their emotion, if I didn't let them affect me, the situation would calm down. I didn't let them affect me. I just stayed at my chill level. And what I noticed is that most people, when they came hot at me, when they were at this angry, anxious level with me, they started to chill out. If they came at me yelling, through my energy, they absorbed my energy. Instead of me absorbing everybody else's energy, people started to absorb my energy. And you start to realize how powerful our energies are. So when you're present, when I was present, when I was in the moment, when I was just my even chill self, people would come in hot and then they don't even realize it, right? And all of a sudden they're with this chill person who's trying to help them and understand, not rising to their level, not mirroring them. And they start to mirror me and their voice calms down. And then we can figure this out together, right? So that's the thing. You have to practice being present, or none of this other talk is really going to work. So you got to put it on you. You got to take the steps. And when you're not working, when you have spare time, work on being present. 5-10 minutes a day. That's all it takes, right? It's like working out. So, I mean, yeah, this is going to be a long episode, and it is what it is. I have a lot to say about this, but that's a huge part. Is instead of absorbing other people's energy, people will absorb your energy if you're chill. If you mirror the state that they're in, that's just going to bounce back and forth and it's going to escalate. And yeah, I mean, another thing about being in a job, being in a position that maybe stresses you out. I mean, jobs are going to stress you out, but if you're present, they're not going to stress you out as much because you can always go back to being in the moment and realizing this isn't a big deal, right? That's another thing, is that if you're in a customer service job, customers will come to you as if this is life or death. It's not that serious, dude. It's not. But because of our industry, because of how customer service has always been looked at, people believe they have this powerful right, like they're kings. Like these customer service people are peasants, they don't even exist. They just are here to serve you, and that's bullshit, right? It's so brutal. And anybody in the industry, from being a server to working at a fast food or clothing store or anything in customer service, people just like shit on you, and that's why I can never do it. So you have a choice. Is this job that you're at, is it ultimately a positive for you, or is it a negative for you? If you're going to your job every day and you're dreading it, and when you get there, you're so anxious and tired and you try to be in the moment, but the people are just so crazy, then you have a choice to make. Because staying in a crazy situation is crazy. If you are in a situation that is really bad for you, for your health, your well-being, but you keep with it, then it's just not right. Because eventually you're going to get sick, because stress is a huge thing that people don't necessarily talk about. They talk about obesity, they talk about, other mental illnesses, or they talk about, problems in the family DNA, but we rarely talk about stress. Stress can cause horrible problems to you. I believe it can cause cancers. I believe it can cause diseases in your body that, I always hear about people who are otherwise very healthy. They run every day. They eat healthy. They might be vegetarian. They might be vegan. And I know a guy who had a heart attack at 40, but he's otherwise very healthy. And I wonder if that's because of stress. And I can't confirm any of this for you, but this is what I believe. This is my point of view. The stress, it builds up in your body, and your body doesn't understand that this isn't a lion chasing you. This is just some sort of mental thing that's happening inside you, this stress that's building up, and it affects your whole body. You can have ulcers, you can have so many things. And if you stay in a situation that is poor for your mental and physical health, then you are just feeding into that negative energy. And I don't want to be too harsh on you because, jobs are super interesting and they're complicated, and, you might be stressed out at work one day, but then the next day have an amazing day. So I'm not necessarily telling you to just leave your job. But if you find that most days you're at work and it's not fun and it's not positive for you and it's not a good environment and the management isn't good and they don't treat you well, then I believe you should really consider looking into finding something else. And, this video is already going past 25 minutes, so I don't want to go too much more into it. Maybe I can make another video about not just jobs, but feeling bad in general. But just want to leave it at that, as like situations in your life. If you have the ability to change what's going on in your life, but you don't, and the situation is a bad situation, then you're just feeding in to that negativity. And a lot of that stems from not feeling confident, not feeling like you have options. But I really want to tell you, you have amazing options. You are a beautiful person. You have so much to offer the world. And if you believe that this is the only thing you can do, well, I'm telling you, you are wrong. And you need to take control of your life and sit down and get rid of distractions and just work on you. But if you feel that your job is okay, if you can deal with it by being in the moment, being present, and you can get through it, and it's more of a positive than a negative, then stay at the job, right? So that's a lot. And that's going to be a lot for people who are struggling with their jobs and highly stressful jobs to digest. But in the end, this job, they might give you benefits, they might give you perks, they might treat you well, but if you died tomorrow, the job would replace you. If you got sick tomorrow, you might get some emails from people saying, "Oh, I hope you're okay," your friends at work, but the job isn't going to mourn you. The job isn't going to be there with you. The job isn't going to make sure you are healthy when you get into your 80, 90, whatever years. You are replaceable at your job. So don't get it mixed up that a corporation or a job is worth anything more, than you think it is. People think too highly of a job. They would replace you in a second and they wouldn't even look back. That's not to say don't work hard, don't, help people, don't have a great time at a job, but a job is just a job. It's not that serious. I know we all have to make money, but you don't want to sacrifice your health, mental or physical, for a paycheck. You got to find something that resonates with you. And if that's not what you're doing right now, then you seriously have to take a look and just start trying things. I'm 34, almost turning 35 in December. And throughout my life, I've had 10, 15 different jobs. And the reason I've done that is because I took chances. When I didn't like something, I just moved on. And I didn't think a second about that previous job if I didn't like it. If the energy wasn't good, if the vibe wasn't good, if the people weren't good, if I didn't feel needed or happy or positive environment, I was gone. Because I know my worth. And you need to know your worth as well. So that's my 30-minute video. There's a lot to dissect. I haven't done a video in a bit, so I'm a little shaky, but I really hope that helped. In the end, it's not that serious. We need to stop taking everything so serious. That adds stress to us too. That adds an energy, a weird energy to us. It's all good, just try things out. This world is so much more than money and legacy and all that shit. It's about being in the moment, enjoying, be grateful, be grateful, be grateful you have a job right now. There's so many people that don't have a job, right? But to end it off, you got to know if it's not being positive for you, then you got to make a change. It's not up to the job to make a change. They're not going to do it. It's you. And you can do it. You're beautiful. You're amazing. You have many things to offer. Just go look at the things that you like. Look at the things in your life that you like and try it. Don't look at it as a failure. If you try a new job and you don't like it, then you leave. Then you try a new one, right? It's not a failure. You just tried it and you know you didn't like it, so you're moving closer to the thing that you like. Anyways, that's Paradigm Shift. Have an amazing day. I'm Marlo, your host. Peace.